Hi everybody, this is lecture for Monday, 17th of January. So this is week 14 and this is lecture 1 for week 14. Okay, so this lecture, in this lecture I will continue with topic 10. Topic 10 is about CVP relationship or cost volume profit relationship. I have covered half of this topic last week. So just to refresh your memory about the things that I have covered, so I will show you the slides again very quickly. So the topic is about cost volume profit relationship. In this topic, you will learn about the relationship between cost of production, quantity of production, and profit that can be made by a business. Okay, so like I said earlier, this is the first thing that you have learned last week. You have learned about a new format for income statement. When you learn about financial accounting, you have learned about how to prepare an income statement. That is one format. This is another format. This format is called contribution income statement. In management accounting, we use this format. One of the reasons why we use this format in management accounting because a manager can understand the income statement better if we use this format of income statement. Okay, so this is the first thing you have learned about this last week. Okay, the second thing that you have learned, I think, is about what is break-even point. Break-even point is a point where a business generate no profit and also no loss. So let's say you have a business. So the point where your revenue equal to your cost is called the break-even point. At that point, you do not make any profit, and also at the same time you do not make any loss. Most of the time, businessmen, when they run the business, the first thing that they want to achieve is to achieve the break-even point. They are happy because at the break-even point there is no loss. The businessman does not make any loss, and after the break-even point, the business is starting to make profit. Okay, I hope you understand about this. Okay, this is break-even point. If we use graph, the point is where the total revenue equal to total cost. And then you have to know several things. You have to know what is contribution margin, and then here you have learned about what is contribution margin ratio, how to calculate the contribution margin ratio, what it means by the contribution margin ratio. The contribution margin ratio shows about what? See here, you can, if you read this note, and you will understand what it means by the number or the value of the contribution margin ratio. Okay, so then you have seen several examples to calculate several things. Okay, this is the next thing that you have learned in the last week. You have learned how to make simple decisions. After you have knowledge about CVP analysis, if you have a business and then there is a suggestion, maybe the suggestion is you have to increase the price, or you have to increase fixed costs, or you have to reduce what variable costs. So what if there is any suggestion related to the cost and volume or quantity, you can use CVP analysis knowledge to decide whether the suggestion is good or not. So if you, I hope you can still remember the example that I have explained last week. So this is the section that explain about that. And then, okay, this is where I stop. Okay, this is the point where I have to explain in this lecture. So this is in break-even analysis. This is the thing that you have to know. Very important. Very important. So break-even analysis is the analysis that you need to do if you want to know break-even point. Let's say you have a business, you produce something, you know the price of your product, you know the variable cost of your product, and you know the fixed cost of your product. So this is the way that you can use if you want to know the break-even point. You want to know when is the time your business achieve the point where the revenue of your business equal to the cost of your business. At that point, there is no loss. After that point, your business will make profit. So, to calculate break-even point, there are three approaches that can be used, or three methods that can be used. The first method is called graphical analysis. Okay, and then the second method is equation method. The third method is contribution margin method. So, what is or how to use graphical analysis to find or calculate break-even point? If you have to calculate or find break-even point using graphical method or graphical analysis, then the first thing that you have to do is to find graph paper. You have to have a graph paper, and then you have to draw total cost line, and then you have to draw total revenue line, and then you have to see the point where total revenue line intersect with the or cross the total cost line, then that is the break-even point. You can see the break-even point in terms of quantity and dollar. The break-even point in quantity is like this. That break-even point shows how many unit of product need to be sold in order for the business to achieve break-even point. Okay, break-even point in terms of dollar shows that how many dollar of sales the business has to make to achieve break-even point. Okay, one thing about the graphical method is it is easy to do, very easy. But something that is not good about the graphical method is not practical, because you have to find graph papers, and then you have to plot the line, and then you have to draw the total revenue line and total cost line. So it is not practical. So that's why graphical method is not something that that is practical to be done. Okay, the second method that can be used to calculate break-even point is called equation method. So let's see equation method. So if you want to use equation method to calculate break-even point, then you have to use the basic formula of this. The basic formula is a business will achieve break-even point when the total revenue equal to total cost. So see here, a business will achieve break-even point when total revenue equal to total cost. So what is total revenue? So you see the basic formula here. Total revenue or is another term for total sales. So total sales equal to the price of product per unit times the quantity. That is total sales. And then revenue is total sales, and then equal to total cost. Total cost equal to variable cost plus fixed cost. Total variable cost plus total fixed cost. So the break-even point is when the total revenue equal to total cost. So total revenue equal to price times quantity. Total cost equal to total variable cost plus total fixed cost. And then see here, total variable cost equal to unit variable cost times quantity. Okay, so you have to use that basic formula, and then you can calculate break-even point for a business. Okay, now we use the data from the example that you have seen in the previous slide, which is the business is called Wind Bicycle Company. Okay, now remember about Wind Bicycle Company. The product of the business is bicycle. The business sells the bicycle $500 per unit. And then remember the unit variable cost. The business unit variable cost to produce the bicycle is $300. So you can see the data here at the bottom of the this slide. Okay, unit selling price is $500, and then the unit variable cost or expense for the bicycle is $300 per bicycle. And then total fixed cost or expense for the bicycle is $80,000 per month. So if that is the data, and then you are asked to calculate break-even point. So how to calculate that point using equation method. So remember the equation, total revenue equal to total sales. So here, see the brown equation. See here. Okay, the basic formula is total revenue equal to total cost. So what is total revenue? Total revenue is price times quantity. Okay, the price is $500 per bicycle. The quantity is the thing that we want to calculate. That Q is quantity break-even point. We want to know how many bicycle has to be sold to achieve break-even point. So 500 times quantity or Q equal to total variable cost. Total variable cost, like I said earlier, equal to unit variable cost times quantity. So for this bicycle company, unit variable cost is $300, and then quantity is Q. That quantity or Q is the thing, the break-even point quantity that we want to find, and then that is the total variable cost plus total fixed cost. Total fixed cost for this business is $80,000. Plus zero is nothing, because break-even point is a point where total revenue equal to total cost. Okay, so let's see if we solve this equation. What is Q? So the way to solve the equation is like the thing that you can see here. So 200Q equal to 80,000. Q equal to 80,000 divided by $200. So Q is 400 bikes. So it shows that for Wind Bicycle Company, if the company want to achieve break-even point, the company has to sell 400 bicycle per month. Okay. So, like I said earlier, break-even point also can be seen in terms of dollar. So if we want to see the break-even point in terms of dollar, then we have to calculate how many dollar of sales that the business has to make to achieve break-even point. Very easy to calculate. So the calculation is very simple. The calculation is like this. Remember in the previous slide, you have found that the business has to sell 400 bikes to achieve break-even point. That is break-even point in terms of quantity. So how about break-even point in terms of dollar? So to calculate break-even point in terms of dollar, the faster calculation is you take the 400 bikes times the price of the bike. So the price of the bike is $500. So $400, 400 unit of bicycle at break-even point times $500 price for the bicycle per unit. So you will get the break-even point in term of dollar is $200,000. So it shows that the break-even point in term of dollar shows that if the Wind Bicycle Company want to achieve break-even point, the Wind Bicycle Company has to make sales of $200,000 per month. Then the business achieve the break-even point. Okay. Or you can use this formula to calculate the break-even point or in terms of dollar. This formula or the way I have told you before, which is 400 bikes, that is the break-even point in terms of quantity, times $500 price for bike per unit. So you will get the same answer, $200,000. Okay, this is the calculation of break-even point in terms of quantity and dollar using equation method. To use this method, you have to memorize the formula. The basic formula is total revenue equal to total cost. Okay, total cost is the total variable cost plus total fixed cost. Okay, this is the third method that can be used to calculate break-even point. I think this is the easiest method among the three. If you want to use this method to calculate break-even point in terms of dollar and sales, you just have to memorize the formula. So this is the formula. The contribution margin method is a variation of the equation method. So if you want to calculate break-even point in terms of unit or quantity, the formula that you have to use is fixed cost divided by unit contribution margin. And then if you want to calculate break-even point in terms of dollar, the equation is fixed cost divided by contribution margin ratio. So remember at the beginning of this topic, you have learned about how to calculate contribution margin and CM ratio. That is, this is the place where you will use that knowledge to calculate break-even point. Okay, let's see. There is an example here. Okay, I think this is not. Okay, so before we see the sample question, we use the Wind Bicycle Company data. Okay, just to refresh your memory. For the Wind Bicycle Company, the price of the bicycle per unit is 500, unit variable cost is $300, and then total fixed cost is 80,000. Okay, so if you want to calculate break-even point in terms of quantity, then you use this formula. So fixed expense or fixed cost equal to 80,000. So 80,000 divided by unit contribution margin. Unit contribution margin equal to price per unit minus unit variable cost. So price is 500, unit variable cost is 300. So 80,000 divided by 200. The answer is 400 unit. So break-even point in terms of quantity is 400 unit or 400 bicycle. The business has to sell 400 bicycle to achieve break-even point. See, you will get the same answer. You use equation method or you use this method, the answer is same. 400 bicycle has to be sold if the business want to achieve break-even point. Okay, now if you want to calculate break-even point in terms of dollar using this contribution margin method, then you have to use the formula at the bottom of this slide, fixed cost divided by CM ratio. So fixed cost is 80,000, and then how to calculate the CM ratio? The CM ratio is like this. The CM ratio is unit contribution margin, which is 200, divided by the price, which is $500. So $200 divided by $500 equal to 0.4. So the fixed cost is 80,000, and then divided by 0.4 CM ratio. You will get the answer equal to $200,000. So same. You use this method or the equation method, you will get the same answer. Except that I think this method is easier and quicker, provided that you have memorized the equation, so the formula. Okay, so let's see this is sample question. Okay, see here the quick check or a sample question. Coffee Clutch is an espresso shop or coffee shop, and then the average selling price of a cup of coffee is $1.49, and the average variable cost per cup of coffee is 36 cents. The average fixed expense per month is 1,300. 2,100 cups are sold each month on average. What is the break-even point in units? Okay, see here the calculation. The question asks you to calculate break-even point in terms of unit, in terms of quantity. So how to do that? I use the contribution margin method. Okay, so if you want to calculate break-even point in terms of unit using the equation method, you have to memorize the formula. The formula is fixed cost divided by unit contribution margin. So the fixed cost, see here in the gray box, the fixed cost of the business is 1,300. Unit contribution margin equal to $1.49. Price per cup minus the unit variable cost of 36 cents per cup. So the answer is 1,150 cups. The calculation shows that if this business, coffee shop want to achieve break-even point, the business has to sell 1,150 cups of coffee. If the business sell more than that, the business will make profit. If the business sell less than 1,150 cups, the business is making loss. Okay, this is the break-even point in terms of quantity. And then this data is the same data, same shop, same coffee shop. But now the question asks you, see the last sentence in the question, what is the break-even sales in terms of dollar? In terms of dollar, how many dollar of sales the business has to make to achieve break-even point? So okay, in this question I use the contribution margin method. The formula to calculate the break-even point in terms of dollar equal to fixed cost divided by CM ratio. So fixed cost is 1,300. The CM ratio in this example is 0.758. How to calculate the CM ratio? CM ratio equal to unit contribution margin divided by price, unit price. So the calculation here, see the bottom of the gray box here, the break-even in terms of dollar equal to $1,715. It shows that the business has to make $1,715 of sales to achieve break-even point. So the answer is B. Okay, this is the last subtopic in this topic about CVP analysis. So like I said earlier, CVP relationship is about the relationship between cost, quantity of production, and profit. Now, another thing that you can another thing that you can do after you know about the relationship between cost, volume and profit is you can calculate target profit. You can do target profit analysis. Okay, let's see. The target profit analysis is something like this. Suppose the Win Company bicycle wants to know how many bikes must be sold to earn a profit of $100,000. So now the business before this can calculate break-even point. Now, what can be done if the business want to achieve a certain amount of profit in the future? So we can use our CVP formula or knowledge to determine the sales volume needed to achieve a target net profit figure. So if you use the CVP equation or the formula, then you can calculate. See here, the basic formula, the basic equation related to CVP is sales. You have to use this. If you want to calculate target profit or want to do target profit analysis using the equation, you have to use this equation. Sales equal to variable expenses or variable cost plus fixed cost plus profit that the business that want to achieve. So for this Win Bicycle Company, the sales equal to $500 price per unit times quantity, and then equal to variable cost is $300 times quantity. Remember, revenue and variable cost, they will increase or decrease according to the quantity. So you put the Q there. Q is the thing that you want to find. Plus the fixed cost is $80,000 plus the target profit is $100,000. So you solve the equation. If you solve the equation, 200Q equal to $180,000. Q equal to 900 bikes. So this calculation shows that if Win Bicycle Company want to achieve $100,000 profit, the company has to sell 900 bikes. That is the thing that the business has to do. So we also can calculate, this is the target profit in terms of the quantity. We also can calculate target profit in terms of dollar of sales. So this is the second way or method that you can use to do target profit analysis. The question or the scenario is same. How many bikes or bicycle the business has to sell to achieve $100,000 of profit? So if you use contribution margin approach, this is the way to calculate the quantity related to the target profit. So see here, the equation: unit sales to attain target profit equal to fixed cost plus the target profit divided by unit contribution margin. So and then the equation equal to, the formula equal to 80,000 fixed cost plus the target profit is $100,000 divided by the unit contribution margin $200 per bike. So the answer is 900 bikes. This method also shows that the business has to sell 900 unit bicycle. If the business wants to achieve $100,000 profit per month. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, the target profit also can be calculated in term of dollar and in term of quantity and in term of dollar. So like in this slide, this is the quantity. The business has to sell 900 bikes to achieve break-even point. If the question asks you to calculate how much dollar of sales the business has to make to achieve the $100,000 profit, then the answer is 900 bikes times $500 price per bike. Then you will get the dollar of sales that the business has to make to achieve the target profit. So 900 bucks times $500, I think the number is $450,000. The business has to make $450,000 of sales if the business want to achieve the target profit of $100,000. Okay, let's see. This is the example again. The sample question. Coffee Clutch is a coffee shop. The average selling price of a cup of coffee is $1.49. The average variable expense per cup is 36 cents. The average fixed expense per month is $1,300. How many cups of coffee will have to be sold to attain target profit of $2,500 per month? So, in this sample question, the answer is calculated using the contribution margin method. So, you can check the previous slide. If you use contribution margin way to calculate the target profit or to do target profit analysis, then the formula is like this. Unit sales to achieve the target profit equal to fixed cost plus target profit divided by unit contribution margin. So related to this question, the fixed cost is 1,300 plus the target profit 2,500. Unit contribution margin equal to $1.49 minus 36 cents. So if you solve this calculation, then you will get the answer is 3,363 cups. So it shows that if the business want to achieve $2,500 profit per month, the business has to sell 3,363 cups. Make sure you know how to do this. Okay, this is the last slide related to the CVP analysis that you have seen in the previous slides. When you do the CVP analysis, including when you do the break-even point calculation and then target profit calculation, you have used several assumptions. The first assumption is selling price is constant. Remember, you sell 1 unit bicycle, the price is 500. You sell 400 unit of bicycle, the price is still 500. You sell 500 or 600 bicycles, the price is still 500. That is the assumption that we use when we calculate or do the CVP analysis. The second assumption that we have used is the costs are linear. Costs are linear. So every time we do the calculation, the unit variable cost is same, $300 per bicycle, no matter how many units of bicycles were produced or sold. Fixed cost also same, 80,000 at any quantity. Okay, the third assumption is not relevant for this topic for you. Number 4, manufacturing companies inventories do not change. Unit produced equal to unit sold. So in CVP analysis that you have learned in this topic, we assume that the quantity of production equal to the quantity of sales. We assume that every bicycle or every unit of bicycle that the business produce will be sold. Every cup of coffee clutch mix will be sold. We assume that. Even though in real situation, if you have a business, most of the time you produce more than the quantity that you can sell, because you want to keep some you want to keep some inventories. But CVP analysis, when we do the CVP analysis, we make it a bit simpler than the real situation. So we assume that every unit produced by a business will be sold. Okay, thank you very much. This is the end of this lecture. Do not forget to write your name and metric number in the comment section of this video. I will record that as the lecture attendance. Thank you very much.